Powered by VestGen Wealth Partners. Sunday morning at 10 on AM 560 The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan Proft here, talking, revisiting, I should say, the results, and particularly in the New York elections yesterday, where two incumbent leftist congresswomen were defeated by Mamdani-backed anti-Semitic, pro-Islamist, even though one of the victors is Jewish too, Brad Lander, who defeated Dan Goldman. As I was saying, anti-Semitic, pro-Islamist, open borders, Bolsheviks defeated the Mensheviks, Dan Goldman, and Espaillat, the head of the Latino caucus. One of the victors, the woman who defeated Espaillat, who is the unvarnished version of AOC, and unfortunately, probably the smarter version as well as the more radical version. Daria-Lisa Chevalier, this was something she said in a debate leading up to yesterday's election about people in this country illegally convicted of crimes and what should or shouldn't happen to them.
There are cases in which migrants to New York have committed violent crimes, including murder, in this district. Under normal circumstances, undocumented defendants charged with crimes go through the system, and if convicted, they get deported before or after serving time. Ms. Chevalier, you recently said on WNYC Radio that defendants who commit crimes should not be deported after serving time. Why is that?
Because we have a criminal system. It's an imperfect system. It's an imperfect criminal system that I've been critical of, but we have one. And if we truly believe in a system where we don't have double jeopardy on the basis of where someone was born, then we cannot also have a system of punishment that is unique to people who were born elsewhere. We need to make sure that if we really value equality in this country, that we are treating people equally, regardless of where they were born. It cannot both be that a person who has citizenship is tried and convicted in one way, and a person who does not have citizenship is tried, convicted, and then forced to also endure another type of punishment on the basis of where they were born.
So that's the Islamist. Just to be clear, I mean, in case that's not clear, all deportation is wrong, quote unquote. That's her position. There is no such thing as a U.S. citizen. They're just people in the United States whenever they want to be here, and on their own terms, completely. All deportation is wrong. She also supports nationalizing utilities, hospitals, pharmaceutical companies, suspending rent and mortgage payments, dissolving private health insurance companies, and seizing all properties from landlords. Yeah. Abolish ICE, abolish gender, abolish private property, abolish. Got to make way for the revolution. So that's the Islamist victor. The Islamist sympathizing victor, Brad Lander, who, as I said, is Jewish. This was from a campaign rally leading up to yesterday's defeat of Dan Goldman, who's also, I mean, Dan Goldman is awful. Over the top, demagogue, irresponsible, especially as a former prosecutor. Pandering simp. And none of it was good enough. He got blown out by this guy.
Solidarity is not just a feeling of unity. It's a practice of building alliance across differences. And it's the practice we need against our biggest opponents. And I don't mean Wemby and the Spurs. Solidarity is the energy we need to fight Trump's fascism, to abolish ICE, to stand up to the billionaires who are rigging our economy, so we can win a city everyone can afford and where everyone is welcome. We've had it with corporate Democrats who don't know what time it is. This is not the time for strongly worded letters or high-dollar fundraisers or elections bought by billionaires or crypto bros or AI oligarchs. It's time for a politics of solidarity, of neighbors standing up for each other, of refusing to compromise on anyone's dignity or anyone's humanity. Solidarity is how we fight back. and how we win. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, if he strays from the Intifada, they'll come for him, I guarantee you. For more on yesterday's election results, Stephen Moore, economist, author of The Trump Economic Miracle and the Plan to Unleash Prosperity Again. Stephen, thanks for joining us.
Hey, good morning, Dan. And, I was just listening to what you were saying about what's going on and listen to that speech. What strikes me is that who was that was giving that speech?
The city comptroller, Brad Lander, who defeated Dan Goldman.
Yeah, so these people are uneducated. They're not stupid. I mean, obviously he's a good speaker and he uses big words, but this is really a dangerous trend, folks. Again, you and I joke around on this show all the time, but these people are deranged. They're very dangerous. And so just in our hotline today, I'm going to give you some of the elements of this kind of Democrat socialist manifesto that is taking root everywhere. As you know, I live in Washington, D.C. We now have a Brandon Johnson who is now going to be our mayor, very much like so. And so, you've got now Seattle, you've got Washington, D.C., you've got New York City, and you've got Los Angeles that all are run now by radical socialist leftists. And here are some of the things that they are promoting. And you mentioned some of these, but abolish the United States Senate. You know why they want to do that? I'm not sure. Why do they want to get rid of the Senate? I'm not really quite sure.
Too deliberative. The direct democracy. Too deliberative.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it holds things up.
Every little state can't have two senators. Okay, defund the Pentagon. I'm in favor of cutting the Pentagon budget. defund the Pentagon. No national defense.
Yeah.
Okay, here's another. Offering universal amnesty to legal immigration. I'm very much in favor of immigration, but we have to have it legal, not illegal. Here's one. Free public transportation and free housing for all.
Yeah.
They're going to do that in New York. It's going to cost $600 million to have the free buses. Where's that money going to come from?
Yeah.
Here's another one. I'm not done yet. Transfer. You'll love this one. Transfer ownership of major corporations to the public. We're not going to have private companies anymore. And then finally, cut police budgets annually to zero.
Yes, defund the police.
That's America, folks. And these guys are winning. I mean, here's the thing that's scary about this. They're winning all over the place in the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party has had a hostile takeover. And what really disturbs me is where are the rational Democrats rising up against these fools, these lunatics? I mean, you do have Rahm Emanuel is one of the few national Democrats.
Oh, please.
Wait a minute. I know it. That's how bad it is that Rahm Emanuel is the voice of reason in the Democratic Party today. But no one else in the Democratic Party is willing to stand up for these people and say they're lunatics.
Yeah, well, there's one you forgot to. I also understand their demand is that Zoftig DEI hire at J.P. Morgan who was fired for stealing a garbage can after dumping trash on the street. They demand that she be made CEO of J.P. Morgan. She's going to take over too. I think that's one of their other demands. I mean, we laugh about this, but we only have two parties in America. We have a Democratic Party and a Republican Party, and I'm not, neither are you, Dan. We're not rah-rah Republicans. We're not here to tell people, Republicans are the solution to all our problems. But this is really pretty scary. I mean, Bill Clinton would be laughed out of the Democratic Party today with his views, about balanced budgets and things like that. So it's scary, and I think it's really incumbent on people who are Democrats, who believe in America, believe in prosperity, to start striking back against this, but they're afraid to. Yeah, I mean, one of the other things, too, is who really serves as their constituents. I'm talking about these Mamdani Marxists, right? And I think we want to believe again that it is the turnout was low. It's this radical element and so on and so forth. And then you see who was actually at these victory parties for these Marxists last night, and it's a bunch of young suburban white kids.
Well,
so,
did you see who? Did you see who turned out last night at the Big Victory Parade? Well, Karl Marx was there and Lenin was there. He showed up too. I don't know if you've seen the photos of that. But,
yes, no, but
big celebration.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, their audience is more complicated than I think we want to believe, and that also is frightening.
Yeah, and now look, some of it is just kind of an anti-Trump phenomenon.
Yes,
but it is frightening to me, and it would bankrupt the country. And our great cities are being, destroyed by these policies. Washington D.C. now, where I live, is going to go down the drain, and Chicago is not doing well. And so, what do we do about this? I mean, why do we? I think it goes all the way down to our education system. That our kids. Especially, by the way, the ones who graduate from college are the worst.
Yeah, well, I mean, Daria Lisa Chevalier is a Columbia grad, so there you go. I mean,
right.
The Ivy League.
That's an Ivy League school.
Yes, they strike again. The Ivy League.
I'm going to tell you something, Dan, and I would not have. I'd say no way 3 months ago would this happen. But I'm going to make a prediction to you. Okay? And are you sitting down, Dan? Because
yes, I'm
I
ready.
actually believe right now that if the Democratic presidential nomination was up and they would have primaries, I believe that AOC would be the Democratic nominee.
I mean, that's not something it's something I would have laughed at, like I said, a year or two ago. Not anymore.
Yeah.
I wouldn't laugh at that.
I mean, she's going to be clearly one of the three front runners, and she could win.
Okay.
Sorry about that, folks, but I'm just calling them as I see them. I'm just calling balls and strikes here.
I hear you.
You've got this. Okay.
Political, but momentum is a funny thing, and like you say, there's this. This is a revolutionary party, this so-called Democrat Party, but within the party you have this struggle for primacy, and right now it's the Bolsheviks are running the table on the Mensheviks.
Yep.
I wanted to get on a happy note, at least if you live in certain states. The property tax revolt that's Ron DeSantis started in Florida, it's not limited to Florida anymore.
Yeah, so it's happening around the country. Of course, it's happening in red states, not so much blue states.
Yeah.
But you're seeing about 10 states that are talking about not just cutting their property taxes, but potentially eliminating property taxes, which would be amazing. Florida has gone, 50% of the way there. And by the way, Florida has no income tax. I mean, it's pretty amazing that they're able to provide better services in Florida with no income tax than, Illinois, Massachusetts, New York can with sky-high income taxes. But, that's the time now is to cut these property taxes, because what's happening is people are being pushed out of their homes. They can't pay their property taxes because the rates keep going up and the assessments keep going up. I live in Montgomery County, Maryland, which is one of the socialist counties of America. I mean, literally, we may have to move here. We love our home, but we can't afford our property taxes. We're doing fine financially, but the property taxes are just killing us month after month after month.
We know that all too well in Illinois, of course. Stephen Moore, economist, author of The Trump Economic Miracle. Stephen, thank you as always. Appreciate it.
Well, were you at the big party last night? With Karl Marx and Lenin and all the great. Great socialists.
No, I was having. I try to stay in safe enclaves, my safe spaces like Olympia Fields Country Club, where I was having dinner after playing golf. So I'm away from that crowd.
All right, take care. Bye.
See you, Steve. And you join us on the alphawealthgroup.com answer line.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Don't miss In Grace with Pastor Jim Scudder Jr. Now heard on Sunday mornings at 7:30. Tune in and find hope as Jim Scudder explores God's Word and His world each Sunday morning right here on AM 560. The Answer.
John